people ask me all the time how you feel about the marijuana. I know when I came from the state of Georgia, it was like for medical use. They had the oil. It was people having seizures and kids being sick. And I agree with you right now. Do I agree? First of all, I think that we got to do something about the opiates incident first before we start doing any other drugs. That's foremost. I'm in Baltimore for a while, and the sheriff here, we have heroin, we have crack cocaine going on. I don't know how that's doing right now, if it ever changed. But I agree with you as well with that in Dundar. But as far as the opiate incidents, I do believe that there should be, on the federal side, there should be stricter regulations on how we could like stop it from coming to the streets. Like it gotta be some other kind of, I don't want to say substitute drug, but is there anything else we could put in that's not so potent to like ban opiates altogether from the FDA? I remember in the VA hospital, a lot of veterans, what they do is they take their medications and they sell them. My name is Hubert Owens Jr. and I am running for Congress in District 2 of Maryland. And I want to touch on what he said before I get into my story is I absolutely agree with what you said about Baltimore City. Me and my wife moved here about 3.5 years ago, and we love Baltimore City. It's a fine city with wonderful people. It's just been politically abused. And when I look at the media, I see a bunch of political figures passing the buck on the high crime rate, education, especially crime rate. They pass it on the police department. Well, what is the city council doing? You know, I mean, nobody holds the city councilman accountable.
They're shifting the blame is what the city council.
Exactly. And then since I've been here, we had 2 mayors who passed the buck. They blame it on the state's attorney. They blame it on the commissioner. I believe before the fire commissioner, should we give it some city councilmen? I mean, these guys keep getting, I don't understand how a wonderful city like Baltimore is the way it is, and talking to gentlemen like yourself and listening to you as out there on the front lines, I really do, I'm glad that part of my district is Ricerstown Road and Park Heights Avenue. And I'm not one of the politicians that, you know, because I have a party, but at the end of the day, it's not a party issue, a political issue, it's a humane issue. As an Army combat veteran, I did not fight for my people to be held as hostage in their own community. When I see young women, older women who are afraid to take kids outside to go to the harbor or go to the park, that really, really is a slap in the face to many veterans. I was taught to like protect my country from domestic terrorism. The threat of the enemy across seas, but not in my own city or in my own town. So I thank you so much for what you touched on, and we will work together to do this, because I do believe that we need some dedicated, honest political figures in Baltimore City. And I do not believe that we got, I can't believe, this is the first time I've been in the military. I've been around many places, but I never heard of a school superintendent getting paid almost the same amount as the governor. I never seen it. I never heard of schools being canceled because they're freezing. Then they out of school because they're passing out because it's no air. But the mayor going to donate, well not donate, but privately own, whatever she did say, I'm going to give you $100,000 to walk out of school for a gun rally. I don't understand the gist of that. Maybe it's a Baltimore City thing, but if we could find $100K for kids for a gun rally, we could find good air conditioning. We could find a way to sit there and put heat, air in schools, and feeding kids should not be an issue. At one point I heard that Maryland had an issue with about, it's a political issue that kids should have lunch. Really? They're already freezing, passing out, now to have lunch. And then we have teachers who have to use their own money, but they're barely getting by on to buy school supplies. When you got superintendents getting paid almost the same amount close to the governor. That's outrageous. I tell you what the problem is, folks. There's not enough political diversity in this town. And I say, well, how many conservatives or independents do you have? Oh, no, it's straight Democrat. And it's not a party issue, it's a man issue. So the problem is, everybody got their own little cliques. After Governor Ehrlich went from governor, that's when everything started going to where it was. And I ain't gonna blame on Maryland for taxes. We ain't gonna talk about taxes right now because that's a very insane topic to me. That is one of the reasons why I'm running for office is because of the tax issues. But I do not see where our tax money is going in Maryland and in Baltimore City. I don't think you said, before we could talk about improving the parkway or talking about bringing a super train from New York to Maryland to DC, can we fix some potholes? Can we fix some of these condemned buildings? So, and that's one of my issues. And yes, I'm against sanctuary cities, okay? I'm totally against sanctuary cities. And I believe that before we could take care of those individuals, illegal aliens, that come here and not want to pay taxes, can we take care of our own citizens first, mainly our children? And that's one reason why, well, I don't know about Maryland's case though, but as far as the crime rate, I do believe that we just need to start over. I was fighting for my country and I was shot 5 times. That's not how I got injured, but it happened a little while after that when I was the sole survivor of a Humvee accident. I was the only survivor out of 4 men, stuck in a coma, and 7 months later I figured out that I was the sole survivor. I dealt with survivor's guilt, and I realized that I was not the same as I was when I left home. Like many of my colleagues who suffer mental illness, men and women, I do believe that it's a national issue. It's an issue that's not being talked about. Only time we hear about mental health is when there's a school shooting, or justifying somebody, or why they killed this person, or why they commit this crime. Many Americans, not only veterans, have traumatic brain injury. We hear a lot about the depression, bipolar, all of those, PTSD. We never hear about traumatic brain injury. Traumatic brain injury affects many, many Americans through car accidents, birth defects, when a child's being born. My story hits at home because my wife saved my life as a veteran. And I was very fortunate to have a supportive family and a wife. And I was very fortunate that a lot of my colleagues committed suicide. When they came back, it wasn't normal. And I've been to many funerals to where my colleagues came back home and said they could not transition very well. And I believe that, I blame that pretty much on Congress and the VA hospital. When you go to the VA hospital, yes, they dare to help. It has gotten somewhat better when I came home, suffered from homelessness, PTSD, and self-medication from alcohol. Now I'm telling you this not as a congressman, but as a citizen. I'm not ashamed to say it. Any of you suffer from mental illness is not nothing to be ashamed about. I'm here with you. I'll support you 100%. Many people have traumatic brain injury from accidents, construction work, a lot of other things. Okay, and I'm not one of those candidates that feel like I'm so polished that I have to present a certain image to Capitol Hill or to anybody, because I'm human as well. At the end of the day, when the primaries end, November end, elected or not, I'm still living with an illness that affects many Americans, and it should be brought to national attention. I do believe Congress needs to do a better job with mental illness. I'm the only teacher and advocate for the National Alliance of Mental Illness. It's called NAMI. They do a lot of great things in the community. They're all over the country, and they are very well known in Anne Arundel County, Prince George's County, and Baltimore City. And they need a very great spokesperson, or a very great board of directors, and guess what that is? Myself. Because I was not afraid to say that, hey, I've been stigmatized because I couldn't get a certain job with the government because of the stigma that the government put on me. Oh, he came from war. He was on the front lines. He was infantry. He saw things, he did things. So we can't give him the job. But at the end of the day, I'm still very blessed to where I feel like this is my second chance to fight for my country again. I'm doing it for the men and women that I lost. I do believe that the government should not take advantage of our veterans and those of you who suffer mental health who are not veterans. It's something that needs to be addressed naturally. We got all the other movements, but no movement to address mental health issues. Besides this drugging individuals across this country, let's find a way to help them. Let's find a way to say, I got your back, brother or sister. You're not alone. Maybe then we can find an answer to the mass shootings. It's not guns. It's the people that suffer from illnesses, or maybe somebody reached a breaking point. Millions come from all kinds of walks of life. I talked about many issues. People talk about gun issues. Well, a gun would not fire unless somebody in their mind at one point had the breaking point. You can have all the guns in your closet, but at some point in life, maybe somebody couldn't deal with enough. Maybe somebody went postal. Or maybe at one point, when that one congressional candidate or congressman elect ignored the fact to put some money into mental health to help all men and women, not just veterans. So that's why part of my platform is to help my friend Scott, who has a personal story, and many of you as well. Traumatic brain injury is a very serious topic. We hear a lot about PTSD and bipolar and depression. But believe it or not, that's also components of traumatic brain injury. Traumatic brain injury, we call TBI, is not really discussed, especially in the VA hospitals or any citizen hospitals, pretty much. Because I'm not sure if they don't know or they don't care. I think maybe it's used as a source of passing the buck or just a justification when a mass shooting happens. You know, I suffer from it through like memory loss. It's been times when I first came back from the war that I didn't know my way home. Like I forgot my way home. It's been times when my wife said, go to the store and get me 3 bananas and 2 apples and 1 peach. I get to the store, I forgot what she just said. Or you wake up in cold sweats, anger, anxiety, being in crowds of people. Or migraine headaches. I still get those plenty of times. I remember when I first came back from the war, I had blackouts where I didn't remember, happened recently, but I didn't remember, wow, how'd I get to bed this morning, last night? What did I do last night? And believe it or not, there are a lot of things out there that our politicians suffer from that they do not want to address because they feel like they had to hold this certain image. But they don't realize is your constituents need to hear your personal story. Your personal story is your testimony. Your personal story is what people want to hear. They don't want to hear nothing from Google or from the sanctions or from Fox News or CNN News. They want to hear something that the congressional candidates or any candidate could relate to. And I believe that that is a true statement that a lot of candidates are very out of touch with the community. And never they're out of touch, they just hide it inside until they reach that breaking point. Because I'll be honest with you, running for office is a very stressful thing. I know a lot of candidates in here, they tell you, it's very stressful. I don't know if it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't be here today. And I know a lot of those people are not blessed with people that understand. And it touched me when I found a lot of my colleagues from war that I just drank beer with, played cards with, right there in Iraq, did not get the help they needed and committed suicide. So I want everybody to know that I am that man that stands to say in Capitol Hill that I'm your brother when it comes to this. I'm your friend. I want to be scared with you and suffer this through you. And that's what I want to do. We can talk about a lot of political issues all day, and yes, I have a question.
Yeah, I heard that you said it was 7 months in coma.
Yeah, I 7 months in a coma. Yeah, 7 months in a coma.
After coma, how did you conceive it? What was the feeling, or did you have any help?
Well, first from a coma, I had to learn how to adapt over again. If anybody ever been in a coma, I don't know for how long, 7 months or a month, it's just like waking all over again. It's like you're still confused, you discombobulated. At one point, I had to get physical therapy because when you're on your back for 7 months, it's hard to move again. It's like, okay, then at one point, I was still trying to figure out, in my mind, I was trying to figure out what happened to bring me here. That stuck in my mind. What brought me here? I remember I was right on top of the Humvee, and then everything just went black. Well, what happened before then? What happened with then? And then at the same time, with that, when you're suffering a coma or traumatic brain injury. Now, I didn't know I had traumatic brain injury. They didn't tell me that. They told me I had anxiety or PTSD. That's something that they won't tell you. I don't know in the private sector, for those who have never been in the military, but the Army has something, the military don't like paying compensation. So they finally got traumatic brain injury. They feel like they don't want to pay you for that compensation. But at that point, I didn't care about the compensation. I didn't want to remember like, okay, then how come I'm scared to go across bridges with water? Why am I scared of potholes and bags? Why am I waking up fearful? Why am I sleeping under this bridge? Why am I self-medicating with alcohol? Why are these drugs that VA is not giving me working? So at that point, there was a whole mental transport. It was more mental for me to learn how to walk. I knew how to walk, but I'm like, why am I feeling so nervous around people? And it happens a whole lot. I mean, Scott probably has stories as well about traumatic brain injuries. He can relate to like just being forgetful. And a lot of times we angry because we can't remember. It's an irritating feeling. And sometimes it's brain damage. Like part of my brain was affected by anger and emotions. And a lot of people have it. And if you've been in a car accident and you hit your head on the steering wheel, you feel like, well, I can't remember, or I got this, I'm slurring my words, I haven't been drinking, or I'm having these headaches. That's traumatic brain injury. Concussions, NFL football, they have it. They get in the head like dizziness. I know Junior Seau, one of my favorite football players from the San Diego Chargers, committed suicide. Traumatic brain injury is a life and death situation. Not only that, but also cause other issues to the brain like blood clots, aneurysms. It happens. Strokes, high blood pressure, anxiety. And I know I have one more question. You had a question? You had no question? Oh.
Going back to your the sanctuary cities issue.
Okay.
I'm actually against sanctuary cities also.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the issues that always seems to come up in Baltimore City, and I touched on it a little bit about the $130+ million seems to be missing on a yearly basis now in the Baltimore City public school system. I never hear anyone talk about or elaborate on the amount of monies that it costs for bilingual classes, bringing in bilingual curriculums,
right,
and additional teachers, the classroom overcrowding, because of these sanctuary city policies. And of course, we have our own citizen issues that we're dealing with, mainly also like what you're talking about. I'm also a veteran.
Right.
I'm a Reagan era soldier.
There you go.
So yes. I completely get it, but I just wanted to touch on that and want to know what are your additional thoughts about it.
Well, as a member of soon to be congressman, like I said, I'm against the whole sanctuary cities. I don't believe, like you said, it's immigrants and there's illegal aliens. And I do believe that, put it like this, to draw a picture right quick. I tell my wife the scenario all the time is, because she's on rental properties. Let's say she has a house and she rent this house out to somebody and they don't pay the rent. She still got to pay for that house to the bank, the mortgage companies. Who you think they're going to call when the bank's saying, because she relies on the people inside her house to pay the rent. So when they don't pay their rent, who the bank going to call? Her. Hey, you ain't pay your mortgage. Well, yeah, the banks don't want to hear, well, I got some occupants, illegal aliens in my house, that's why I can't pay it. And that's what it's like. So what it is, with sanctuary cities like Baltimore is, guess who got to pay all them debts? All the citizens. We got to pay for it. And I want to go ahead and say, a lot of this is like, a lot of sanctuary cities are in liberal cities. And I'm not afraid to say it at all. And it is. For some odd reason, it's okay. You could come on stage. This is America. Stay here for free. You know, you could do whatever. But guess what? The IRS says, hey, you owe us a certain amount of money. Hey, you still got to pay these amount of dollars on state tax. Because Maryland got some high taxes. And I feel some kind of way, but I got to sit here and pay for the rain tax. So when it rains, I got to pay for it. Then there's the elderly tax. Now, okay, now you're paying an elderly tax. Then you got a sunshine tax that's not even benefiting Maryland at all. I got a problem with that. And then you have guys over here in sanctuary cities, don't worry about it. Just vote for us. Matter of fact, we give you right to vote. In California, we give you right to vote. The legal aliens. Just vote for the Democrats, because the men who did it for you, they're Democrats. You MS-13, but shh. Cocaine River, you go to jail. But just stay out. So, and that's my whole problem with sanctuary cities right there is, I do believe this right here. If you want to stay in this country, state, city, whatever, do the right thing. Take the test, pass the test, become legal, or however they do it. Get the green. Come say right now, my dad was an immigrant from Jamaica. Now my dad, he's passed away now, he's a Vietnam veteran from Agent Orange. And he said, son, I came at the wrong time to this country. I said, what you mean? I came time when it was a war. He said, I guarantee you, if we have a war right now, a lot of them would not want me to come over here if you do the draft over. Because he said, when I got my green card, he said, hey, get your green card, and here is your M16 rifle. Since you want to be an American, go fight. Now, and that's my whole thing about sanctuary cities. If you want to stay here, you got to pay your dues.